Hello and welcome to this BuyBotPro video. In this video, I'm going to explain how you can avoid IP violations, IP complaints, IP restrictions, IP anything on your account by using BuyBotPro. Now, obviously, we cannot guarantee that you may get caught up in something, but BuyBotPro can really help distinguish which brands you should be selling, should be looking into selling, should be considering selling, and some brands which you should be avoiding at all costs. So let's begin. I've chosen Persil as a good example today for this video because I know that Persil, looking at the IP radar in the past from BuyBotPro, I know for a fact that they are a restricted brand. So anyone that sells this item, anyone that sells these products should be wary that Persil do protect their brand, and if and when they see you on their listings, they will give you an IP violation. So how can we know this moving forwards? Obviously, we know in this case that Persil is, but how can we know moving forwards whether future items are restricted by their brand? Now, the first thing that tells it apart, once we've typed in our buy price into BuyBotPro, the first thing you will notice is a massive red IP circle here. And BuyBotPro actually says, we know this brand to protect their intellectual property rights. They do protect this. That means that it's not just a maybe, it means that they definitely 100% protect their brand. They have given people violations in the past. Basically, do not sell this product unless you are willing to take the risk. That's what the red means, okay? That's what the red means, okay? No beating around the bush. BuyBotPro will then warn you again down here, just so that you know, if you're getting tempted, it will remind you again, we know this brand protect their intellectual property rights. So obviously that's a massive red flag. If you ever see this on BuyBotPro, just know that if you do continue to sell it after this, then you are selling it at your own risk. And that is completely up to you if you want to take that risk, but obviously it's not advised. That's why it's red. Massive risk, okay? Now, although BuyBotPro has a database full of these items and does the best that they can and we can, unfortunately we can't guarantee that everything you sell won't be protected by their brand. We just can't guarantee that. If it's not flagged up to the system, then it won't turn red. Okay, that only turns red when it's flagged up to the system. So there has to be other ways of looking for this. Now, we can never be sure, we can never be guaranteed, okay, but what we can do is do our best to read the graph's history to figure out what is going on here, just to figure out whether this brand is a risk. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how you can use the BuyBotPro offers and reviews graph here to actually see what's going on. Now, the first thing you'll notice is at the moment this has actually got quite a lot of offers, considering this is a brand that is restricted by their brand. It's restricted. You can see that it's got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. It's got 7. I can count it at the bottom here. It's got 7 sellers on it. So just know that every single one of these is actually taking a risk selling this brand. The chances are they all know it, unless they haven't got BuyBotPro, unless they haven't done their research. The chances are they already know that they're taking a risk selling this, and you'll probably see the stock reflects that, the stock amounts. They haven't got many in stock. It's a silly thing to do, but it's up to the seller's due diligence whether they do it or not. So another way that we can find out whether a brand actually is protecting their brand and you shouldn't be selling their item is looking at these graphs down here. So what you'll notice, as I was just saying, is there was 8 sellers a little while ago. There's 7 at the moment. They've popped on all of a sudden. But if you look back to October here, because we're just looking at the last 180 days, there was actually no sellers. Okay, wonder why. But if you look back at the 360 days, wow, you can see that actually there was one seller there that looked like they, unless it was Persil themselves, which I doubt it, because I don't think they actually sell on Amazon, you'll see that this one seller was popping on and off, one seller was popping on and off, one seller was popping on and off. They were taking a risk, and you can see that, with the reflection here. Oh, sorry, that was Amazon there, as you can see, reflection from that graph. That was just Amazon. It was only Amazon. That means that they've got to deal with Persil, and they're the only ones that sell this, okay? As you can see, as soon as they come in stock, it sells out, okay? Because Amazon are at a very cheap price, very competitive price, and they sell out straight away. Only Amazon. So that's a massive red flag. If this wasn't here, okay, this would be a massive red flag. If it's only Amazon, there's no other sellers. Not only have you got the red mark there, but you can see the whole history here. It's only ever been Amazon. Okay. And then moving forwards here, you can see that Amazon have actually struggled to stay in stock because it sells so well. Now, what's happened? So that would be a massive red flag. If it's only ever Amazon, if there's never been any other sellers for 700 days prior to this lump here, you just stay away from it. You know, that's a massive red flag. There's a reason for that. What's happened here is that a couple of sellers have started taking the risk. A few months have passed, and then all of a sudden, a few other sellers thought, oh, I'll just give it a go. Okay. And now you can see that there's actually 7 offers on a listing that is actually restricted by its brand. So it's a real high risk thing to do. It's really not worth doing. But obviously they've decided to do it. They've decided to take their risk, okay? But chances are these will all get an IP claim within the next, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, and then they'll all drop off, and then this graph will go back to 0. So that's one sign that you can tell. Another sign that you could tell is if there was a load of sellers here, then all of a sudden they all dropped off at once and then went 0, 0, 0, 0. And then people start to take a risk again because some people don't mind taking the risk. That's one way that you can use the BuyBotPro graph to check for IP violations using the IP radar and the graphs. I hope that video's helped, that BuyBotPro video, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.